Hey, what's up you guys? It's your girl Apollonia Cross. In today's video we are going to do a budget with me. Since we just got paid, I wanted to show you guys how I break down and budget our paycheck for this upcoming week. So if that is something that you're interested in and you want to learn how to steward your finances a lot better, then stay tuned. Alright you guys, so let's go ahead and dive right in to our paycheck breakdown this week. So like I said, this is as I am working on getting back into the habit of manually planning paper-wise, because I do some digital planning, but I also do paper. For me, paper is like the way to go, especially if you are wanting and you're needing to do specific breakdown things and you want to review. It just helps better with your focus. So with this paycheck, let's go ahead and pull these papers out, because as much as I love the disc-bound planning system and to have it like this, one thing that does irk my nerves is having to fight with this when I want to go here, but that's why we just pop that paper out. So let's go ahead and pull these out, and I will move this way. All right, so tomorrow is our payday, and we currently have, one of the things that I like to do is bi-weekly plan to pay bills. So this payday will cover the upcoming bills, and this way it helps me lower how much stress I need to think about when it comes to paying down the bills. I can only focus on this portion versus if we had only gotten paid one time in the month, I'd be wanting to make sure we covered all finances. So since that is not our situation, this makes things a lot easier because we only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I think 7 bills that are actually due between now and Halloween. So I'm gonna go ahead and write that down. And this paycheck amount was expecting on average bi-weekly is about $4,000. However, that's also with some overtime that's put in. So since this past pay period, there was no overtime since my husband took some vacation time, we are working with his base pay, which I'm thankful for, honestly. If you are somebody in a season of life where you are finding yourself having to work some overtime to cover some bills or whatnot, then understanding what your base pay is actually going to be really helpful to help you learn how to bring some of your finances down to start living within that base pay until you can bring in additional income or whatever you need to do that way. So this is the typical. So this is a pre-budget amount. Paying myself first, tithes, savings, investing. Now these 3 categories, I like to do 10% in total, because especially if you are limited on finances or whatnot and you doing a whole 10% just to tithes might be a stretch. Ideally, what you'd want to do is 10%, 10%, 10%, okay? However, say if you're not able to do that, then again, God loves a joyful giver, not someone who's stressed or worried or being like, oh, I gotta pay tithes or whatever. So check your heart and be honest with yourself, and God already knows as well, right? Being honest with yourself and gentle with yourself. And ask, what can I generously give and am able to do? And then be able to set that amount. Pray about it, think about it, whatever you want to do. Again, I'm showing you how I would do this. So for example, a pre-budget portion is me breaking down what the expectation was. So what it would have been, ideally, 400 would have gone to that. And then let me take a look at my Google Calendar because I did update some things. I think there was one extra bill. So the bills that came up for this pay period is life insurance. And I put an 8 for my husband. And Google Memory. I think when I like this is side note, but I think when I remake this, I think I honestly want to make the lines bigger, or yeah, I think I want to make the lines bigger, but we'll see. But if you guys are interested in getting this budget worksheet, you can go to my website and you can go ahead and download it yourself and try it out. Let me know how you like it. So this is $25, this is $2, this is $21. And I like to round up to the dollar amount. So let's grab a calculator and go from here. Typically, so 400 divided by 3. What? That was 40. 400 divided by 3 is 133. So that's 133, 133, and 133. And then that would give me a roundabout of my 400. That would give me $399.99. So I'd have $1 left over, but I just rounded just to make life easier. All right, so there's those expenses. That, T-Mobile. American Tires. My life insurance. And Toll Bridge. It's $18. The minimum payment on this one, I believe, is $50. And T-Mobile. Oh, I don't have that one, so let me check what that one is really quick. But it's normally like around $275 or so. So let me go ahead and double check. Alrighty, so it looks like the bill is $288.01 this month, so I'm gonna write it here so that way I can reference it. I just round it $289, so I'll put that on here too. So again, budget amount originally was $275. So if you're pre-budgeting, you would put all the amounts of what you believe the budget's going to be on average, and then you write how much you actually paid. So this one, toll bridge fee too, I have. Oh, actually it's not due until the end of the month, so I'm not going to worry about that. Put that away. Bam. So I can actually cross that out. Wait a minute. Darn it. October 30th. Yeah, no, I was right. Okay. Guys, this is the one thing, like, I do not like writing in pencil. Absolutely, absolutely hate it, okay? But I don't know where my whiteout is after I just bought some. Oh, wait. Bam! Oh, yes, I was able to hide it from the kids and they did not find it. Thank you, Jesus. Yeah, so, ooh. Yeah, so there we go. Gotta love it. Bam! Okay, in it to win it. But now it looks a little ugly, but that's okay. I don't care at the moment. So we're gonna do life insurance again. We're gonna put A, bam, for that, and then it was toll bridge. And that amount is going to be $16. Okay, so let's go ahead and total all this out. 21 plus 2 plus 25 plus 275 plus 50 plus 18 plus 16. So that's 407. Bill total is 407. So what you would do is total these together. Plus 400. That's 807. And you're going to subtract that from 4,000. Ooh. There, 31.93 is left. And now we're going to do our living expenses, which is groceries. And this one thing for sure, I love to do the cash envelope system because I like to be able to save money, right? And learn how to just work with the cash and keep the receipts and all the things. It has its place. However, this I really am loving using my debit card and credit card. I've actually had my purse stolen before, like years ago, and that really just turned me off to carrying cash around. So it's like, at least if I use my credit card or debit card, number one, I get points for purchases. Number two, if it's a credit card, so they're not getting my actual cash if my wallet unfortunately were to be stolen and stuff again. And three, I can go ahead and get on my transactions like adjust and blah, 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 and still continue to protect my own cash. So this is why I like to use credit card when it comes to certain living expenses. I still work from a digital perspective, which is another benefit, is that tracks my actual expenses in comparison to me manually doing it. But I do also still have that here too. So, and I'll explain that the next time, because what I'll do is I'll track down what my credit card is and what the purchases were in the categories, and then I will pay off that amount from like my cash envelopes, for example. And again, it's just how I maximize being able to get points and stuff for travel and all of those types of things and help build credit. But that is something you have to be very disciplined with wanting to do. So, or disciplined with your funds, because otherwise, yeah, you can get in real trouble with that. And I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm perfect or saint whatsoever. It happens, right? But there we go. Oh, wait a second. Let me write out my categories. So I got groceries, gas, home, entertainment, takeout, beauty, personal, car maintenance, clothing. All right, so there we go. And those are the categories. Let me see if there was any other categories, but I don't believe so. typically for clothing, that's kind of a one-off for right now. Car maintenance, we don't have a budget for that. I'm honestly in the process of trying to figure out what our budget category is for car maintenance on a consistent schedule, because we do have 3 different cars. Personal things, beauty. I don't have a category for this. So these are all things that I would want to make sure that I talk with my husband about. So groceries, on average, we spend about, for a family of 6, $600 bi-weekly. So there's that. Gas, 2. Wait, no, gas is not $600 every 2 weeks. Lord, no. It's more about 3 for 2 cars. So 300. Groceries about 600. Takeout. I don't necessarily have a budget. I have to see what our actual expenses are. And then this again, like I said, why you need a planning system and a tracking system, because the plan and versus compared to what you actually did are going to be 2 different things. Sometimes it's not always going to be exact, but this is why you have that difference. So gas, 300. Home, this is supposed to be 150, and this is supposed to be 100. Okay, so there we go. And honestly, I would say 6.3. So we got $31.93 minus 600. Oh wait, okay. Let's just total 600, 300, 150 plus 100. That's 11.15. And whenever I would go to the bank, that typically is average 11.50. 11.50 to 1,200 is what I would take out. And so 31.93 plus 31.93 minus 11.50. That leaves us with $2,043 remaining. Okay, so which is actually really, really good again with this paycheck. Now, sinking funds, we have Christmas to think of. We have, what other things we have coming up? Christmas to think of, Thanksgiving, and winter clothes. There we go. So those are the 3 categories that are coming to mind for me when it comes to our sinking funds. Now, these are all things that I want to talk to my husband about to see what we're going to actually do first. But I like to at least have this broken down and prepared so that way we can, for the most part, actually do a comparison together so he knows. And then we can talk about it later, and then that's something I can show you guys on another time. But at least this gives you like an idea. So this is what the plan was, and this is what we actually did. So, and we have quite a bit. The goal for 1,200, how many more paychecks do we have? We have $1,200 for Christmas as far as a budget. We haven't even talked about budget, but I'm just going to leave those blank for now. And to be honest, investments, I'm going to also put Roths, because this is one thing that I want to make sure that we are working on as we are gradually getting into investments. This is something that I really want to work on. Is I have Roth IRAs for myself and the kids, and my husband is doing whatever with his own investments, but this is something I personally want to start doing. And I just put their initials so that way I know whose is whose and how much we can contribute. There we go. And at least, even if it's $25, and that's what I'm going to put on here. And that way we can gradually get the kids Roth IRAs invested and growing. And so that way, we're just gradually starting them off. And I also like to do, I'm going to start doing some other fundraising stuff with them, or entrepreneurial ventures with them, to help them get into more money for that. And like I said, these are all things we could talk about on a whole nother day. But this just allows you to kind of see where my mind goes when other things. And so extra debt. We don't have any extra debt payoffs, I don't believe, that we're wanting to focus on. Let me see. No, that one can get paid off. Oh, that's what I did not put on here. Southwest. That payment minimum is $206. So let me adjust these.
From your calendar, pick up Arena. Starts in 30 minutes.
Thank you, Alexa. Gotta love Alexa to help you stay on schedule.
Starts in 30 minutes.
There we go. 613 plus 400. So that's grand total minus 2097. And then 2097 minus 1150. So this is the real number. Okay. All right, that's the real number. And I'm just gonna put random numbers there just for my own mind. And then just emergency fund. A rollover. And a rollover account is because I have a bill account set up and then I have our spending account set up. And so that way, all of our bills that are set up on automatic payment, as long as I transfer that amount in that paycheck, I'm not worried about whether bills are going to get paid or anything. And then our living expenses would be coming out of our spending account, or for like how I'm using the credit cards, again, that cash would stay reserved in there, and then I would go ahead and pay off that balance that way. So that's why I'm saying rollover for me, again, is 1837 after 1837 minus 400. That leaves me with 1437. Paying off extra debt, I would put that as a no for right now. And then just so emergency fund, I'll put $100 in there. Rollover would be, what would be the difference would be $1237. Because I also already have $100 right here. So $1237, then we have $1337 here. Remaining balance is $100, and now I have a zero-based budget, $0 right there at the bottom. So we've taken care of bills this pay period, our groceries and living, some sinking funds, savings, as well as some investments. Now, this is obviously what would have projected had this amount came in, but since we actually got only $2,400, this is definitely going to look very different. And so this, I want to make sure, aside from this stuff, this is a no-brainer. This is what has to get paid no matter what, right? So we're going to transfer that stuff over. And this bill was $289 actually. So you see the difference, $289. American Tires, I'm going to do $50. Life insurance, automatic pay. Pay the toll bridge, $206 for that payment. There we go. And so now I'm going to total that up. $627. And this should be $240, right? And if that's the case, $240, we're going to divide that by 3. $80. Perfect. Boom. Okay. So that takes care of that. And so now I've got 240 plus 627. That's 867. And then we have our $600 budget, 600, 300, 150, 100. There we go. That leaves 1150 there. 1150 plus 867. Oh wait, 2400 minus 2400 minus 240, which is the pay thyself first, minus 627. It's 1533 minus, totally messed that up. Boop. 1533 minus 1150. That leaves us with 383. So obviously, if this is the true balance, based off of what we got in, then these are definitely going to drastically change, obviously, right? But that's okay. We don't necessarily need all of this to be as high as it is. So there we go. At least all the needs are taken care of, our tithe, savings, and investing are taken care of, and our living expenses are taken care of for this pay period. We have a little bit left over that can get rolled over into sinking funds and emergency funds and investments and all of those types of things. And then we just got to break those down. But before I break that down, I want to make sure I talk to my husband about it and get that as a confirmation, which is, again, I think he will be happy to see what the base pay is. And so I want to make sure I give myself a little note. And so that way, again, reevaluate monthly budget. There we go. Boom. So this way, again, for me, it's just a mental note. And there we go. So we are pre-budgeted for this pay period. And let me go ahead and write the date. This is for October 17th. And I hope you guys found that helpful. And let me know if on your self-care and wellness journey, if financial fitness is one of the things that you are working on improving when it comes to taking better care of yourself and your family. And if and how you plan to get better at that. Are you going to use a paper system, digital system, do a hybrid? Love to get your guys' feedback and let me know if this video was helpful for you or not, okay? So if you enjoyed this video, make sure you like, subscribe, and check out more of my videos in the future. But make sure, like I said, hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll get back to you guys. Talk to you soon. Bye.